Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Let me thank the witnesses for their testimony. Ms. Cantu, I'd like to acknowledge that I share your concern about the mental health challenges of officers and agents on the front lines at DHS. In fact, I introduced H.R. 2577 with Mr. Garbarino to enhance the wellness for this critical segment of the DHS workforce. It passed out of this committee on a bipartisan basis in July. I look forward to the full House's consideration in it in the coming days, and I would look forward to the chairman giving me some help on the Republican side so that the issue you outlined before our committee, that we can add to the challenges that our employees face and their families from a health and wellness standpoint. So that was just, I heard you, and one of the reasons Mr. Garbarino and I did the bill together, it made sense, and has nothing to do with party. It's about our brave men and women who serve this country, and that's why we did it. Apart from that, Mr. Gunroot, family separation is bad, and I think it talks about our values as American citizens. Can you give me some of the examples that you came across in challenging this policy?
Yes, I think in addition to some of the examples I gave this morning, what we came across are just children who were so young and so traumatized and had no idea what was happening to them. They would literally be pulled away from their parents, begging and screaming not to be taken, and the parents were helpless, standing there watching. And what the physicians told us was that the only reason a 3, 4, or 5-year-old child is not scared of the world as a general matter is because they think their parents can protect them from everything. But what happened to these children is they would be staring in their parents' eyes as they were taken away, and at that moment, they would realize their parents actually can't protect them from the world, and it's forever changed their lives in many, many cases where the children now have a deep-seated trauma and feeling of vulnerability, like the children I mentioned that are worried about being taken away again in the middle of the night. And many of the parents were too scared even to ask where their child was being taken. Parents told me, well, if I ask where my child's gonna be taken, maybe they're gonna treat my child even worse. Sometimes the parent wouldn't be told for months where their child was. Sometimes they wouldn't be able to talk to the child for months. If the child was pre-verbal, they would just be staring into a camera, not knowing and seeing their child crying. I think what many physicians have said now is that we may never undo the trauma we caused these children.
Well, I might can get back to you. Ms. Snodgrass, obviously, I'm a father, a grandfather, and I just can't imagine losing either one of my children or grandchildren. So I know I speak for the rest of the committee in the loss of your son. It's absolutely traumatic. But I can tell you that a lot of us have supported the non-intrusive technology. Every time it's come up, we've passed legislation to do it, and I promise you that if it comes again, and it will in this session, and I want some of my other colleagues to support it too. It passed, but it was not on a bipartisan basis. I want us to do what's right for the country, for our men and women on the Border Patrol. We need to enhance the numbers. We're trying to get more people, and we're doing that. but it needs to be a bipartisan effort. So I look forward to working with my colleagues on the Republican side to provide the help necessary to address many of the problems that we've outlined here today. With that, Mr. Chair, I yield back.